Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather, and I'm really excited to introduce a brand new minimalist style card holder. This is called the Two Shot Card Case, and later in the video I've got a huge tray of about 30 or so different amazing looking wallets that we're shipping out today, and I'd love to show you those. But first, let's talk about this brand new style. You might have been familiar with our one-shot card cases, and on the two-shot card case, we thought it would be interesting to make this a more horizontal orientation and include an extra little slot in the back. So we have two card slots in this one, which is why we're calling it the two shot. And I've been wearing this two shot card case for the last couple of weeks and I've been really enjoying it. I've noticed my style has become a slightly bit more minimalist as we continue through the pandemic here. There's not much reason to carry a lot of cash. You can't really spend it most places. So what I find this to be great for is just put a couple of cards in. You can fit 4 cards in each slot, and actually the larger section in the back here, you can fit dollars folded in half, and they will stick out very slightly from the top. So I have a couple $2 bills here, and let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about for size. This is how it will sit inside of that card slot on the back, and you can see it sticks out just a bit from the top, which is good and bad. It makes it a little bit easier to grab out of there, but it also doesn't really lay flat. So this is not designed with the idea for holding cash, but it will of course hold some cash. So I have many of these two-shot card cases. The idea for the one-shots and the two-shots is to be able to show you more leather and more color options, more contrasting stitching, just fun, exciting ideas at a little bit more of a lower price point. That's the whole concept behind the one-shots and two-shots. So let's take a look at each and every one of these that we're putting up on the website right now. All right, up first for our brand new two-shots, this is English Tan Dublin, but this is cut from the Bison Dublin. And the bison grain character is slightly more intense and grainy, a little bit more wrinkly in appearance compared to the regular steer hide stuff, and it's a beautiful texture. And we also get this incredible English tan color coming from underneath. It's a vibrant orangey tan shade. Sometimes the surface is a little bit more brown, and I love the combination of these two colors. The way that Dublin wears in is very nice as well. It develops a really incredible patina. So we have a good amount of these. We actually have 10 of these, and most everything else on the table here, we only have maybe 1 or 2 of each. So this one here, this is a black all reverse Shell Cordovan two-shot card case. We got a nice Horween ink stamp on the back with that random die mark on the front. And this is what I really enjoy about all the black reverse shell, and they're all random. So I actually have 2 of them here to show you because it gives you a good representation of the color range and randomization that we tend to see on all the black reverse shell Cordovan. Having said that, we did try to make it consistent with a Horween ink stamp on the back. A lot of people are looking to get a nice Horween ink stamp, so we've cut an ink stamp onto each and every one of these. And speaking of reverse shell Cordovan, I also have some Color 8 reverse shell, and I like these random die marks as well. You can see the Color 8 reverse is a little bit more orangey tan, a little bits of red to it, and the die marks are, of course, a little bit more of like a burgundy shade. Again, we try to cut the Horween ink stamp on the backs of all these, and I really like this one a lot. This one in particular. The die marks on this Color 8 reverse are super interesting. I'll give you a look at the back too. And here's another one that we only have a couple of, and this is a leather called Raw Shell Cordovan. I really like the way the patina develops on the Raw Shell Cordovan. This is about as dramatic as you'll get for patina. It starts off this light sort of sand color, and it's much more of like a matte finish compared to most Shell Cordovan. So the transformation that you'll see is this color will deepen and darken. It will turn slightly more golden brown, but also the luster develops. And it starts off matte, but it gets a really wet looking. It gets a really bright, shiny surface to it. And here's another special piece that we only have 1 of. This is Tumbled Color 8 Shell Cordovan. Take a look at the color of that. I really like the contrast between the peaks and valleys of this Tumbled Color 8. You can see those valleys are a little bit more red and the peaks are much darker of a brown. I think that is really, really neat. We have more Tumbled 8 shell on the back of this one. And here's another tumbled piece. There's only 1 of these, I believe, as well. This is actually Tumbled Verdigris. So the Tumbled Verdigris is a color that was designed to match the black reverse shell Cordovan. Some of those lighter, more pale green shades, but it also has those dark tips on the surface. So it kind of looks like black reverse, but this is actually the shell side of Tumbled Verdigris. Let me show you the back of it. We actually have black Shell Cordovan on the back side. I think the black and Tumbled Verdigris go very nicely together. And here's a pretty bold, vibrant one. This is actually a leather called Latigo from Horween. This is not Shell Cordovan. This is actually made from a steer hide. And the Latigo leather is a traditional sort of Western style leather. It's a combination tan, so it's chrome tan with a veg retan. But this leather, for some reason, it really accepts dyes very nicely. So we are able to get a nice vibrant shade on this one. The Regatta Blue is a very bright blue color, and we complemented this one with an orange contrasting stitch. And we have a bunch more to go through, so let's kind of go quicker here. This is Garnet Shell Cordovan on top of Natural Shell Cordovan with the Natural Shell Cordovan on the back. And here's an Amaretto Shell Cordovan combined with a nice interesting green shade. I like those two colors very much together. On the back of this one, we have green Shell Cordovan as well. This is a dark green shell. And here's one that we've never done before, and I really enjoy this. In fact, Skip Horween was mentioning this concept to me the other day. What this is Western Shell Cordovan, but it's the reverse side of the Western. So if you were to look at the inside of this wallet, where your cards are going to go, inside of there, that's actually where all the actual tooling character is. But the reverse side of it, I've always thought was really interesting as well. So this is a black Western reverse piece. I've never done one of these before. I think that turned out really well. And here is what the actual Western texture looks like on the shell side. This one, I think this one's my favorite from the batch here. This is actually Western Garnet Shell Cordovan, and see the reverse Western reverse right there. It's really neat. On the back of it, there's also more Western reverse. I think this is a special piece. And here's another interesting one. This is actually Amaretto Shell Cordovan, but it looks a little mottled in color. And this is combined with some black Shell Cordovan in the center and black Shell Cordovan on the back. And here's a couple Whiskey and Garnet Shell Cordovan two shots. So we have Whiskey sitting on top of that reddish garnet shade in the center. The Garnet Shell Cordovan is the most red shade that Horween makes. Some angles more of those red tones pop out, and other angles it turns a little bit more brown, and we do have two of these available. Here's another really interesting Dublin piece. This is a dark brown Dublin, and we have a contrasting rust stitch on it. I actually really like that dark brown with a lighter brown combo. Let me show you the back here, because this Dublin is a really exceptional grain character. It almost looks like ripples on water or something, little bits of waves to it, and just the grain character itself. Those little tiny hair holes are very pronounced and natural appearing on all the Dublin leather. Here's another great piece. This is blue reverse Shell Cordovan on top of intense blue Shell Cordovan. I really like the blue dye marks on the front of this one. And I'll show you the back, because this is the intense blue Shell Cordovan. The intense blue, we're now distinguishing that between the denim blue Shell Cordovan. The intense blue is much more navy, much darker, where the denim blue is a little bit more of like an aqua, light blue, vivid blue shade. And here's another really neat piece. This is actually black Shell Cordovan on top of magenta Shell Cordovan, and we have this sort of purple magenta stitching to it. This one is really fascinating, and because this front piece is black, there's something that's happening to my eye where the purple of the stitching is making this black shell not look very black at all. Let me show you the back here. This is magenta Shell Cordovan. That's a really neat, vibrant sort of pink purple shade. This is a really neat piece as well. And the last one to show you today, this is the last two shot in black reverse Shell Cordovan, and the black reverse is that really pale green sort of blue color. That's really neat. And this is on top of a leather called Essex, and that is bold orange Essex on the top. And this is a really neat piece because we've complemented this black reverse shell piece, that sort of greenish blue shade, with some orange stitching to complement the bold orange in the center. And let me show you the back, because this is bold orange Essex on the back of this one. So I'm very excited about this two shot. It's a little bit more of a minimalist style, which is not necessarily my style, but I know a lot of people are coming to us for minimalist wallets, and especially with the pandemic going on, you're not able to use any cash. We thought it might be a nice opportunity to offer a more minimalist style. This is an ideal wallet for a front pocket if you're just carrying maybe 4 to 8 cards. All right, let's take a look at some of the wallets that we're shipping out today. This is a remarkable piece of color 8 Shell Cordovan on our long wallet. Take a look at the inside here, all this Shell Cordovan. What I really like about the long wallets is we get an opportunity to see a large context of Shell Cordovan on the outside of this wallet. It's not easy to get such a large piece of shell, and this is a really beautiful long wallet. I do have one more long wallet to show you. This one is in the black Shell Cordovan, but take a look here. We have a contrasting cream stitch. I think that looks remarkable. Let's take a look at the inside here. This is color 8 Shell Cordovan again. These are two classic Shell Cordovan colors put together. And here's a wallet we don't often see. This is actually one of our coin cases. We make a lot of these for Japanese customers. This one is in whiskey Shell Cordovan. Here's some more minimalist styles. This is that brand new Capone. This one's been personalized for JW. This is in the black Shell Cordovan. I want to give a quick note here for the spring bar in the center. This will hold money very tightly. So even if you have one bill in here, this spring bar should hold it closed. If you're having issues with your spring bar, definitely let me know. Something might be up with it, and it should at least hold one bill very tightly, and up to 50 bills is what I've tried it at. So here's another black piece. This is the black Dublin leather. You can see the difference here between the black shell is the Dublin has so much more grain character. It's just very intense grain, where the Shell Cordovan is super smooth, bright and shiny. Here's another Dublin piece. This is the English Tan Dublin on the Capone, personalized for JW. People have been digging the Capone. I have had a couple people that have issues with those spring bars, and that's sort of a new piece of hardware for us. So I'm definitely interested to hear your feedback on that spring bar. Here's a Frank the Enforcer in black Dublin. Also, we get that great grain character of the Dublin. This one's been personalized for MDS. Thank you so much, MDS, or if that's for a gift, can't wait for you to have it. Look at this black reverse shell with a great Horween ink stamp on the back. And the front of this Frank, also black reverse. That's a really clean looking Frank the Enforcer. And it looks like I have a couple one-shots here, both in different versions of the ultraviolet magenta shade. This is actually the raw ultraviolet, and I'm really excited about this raw shell. Similar to the natural raw shell, it's really amazing how nicely this develops patina. That's a really sleek looking piece here. Nice little color shift. Let me show you another one-shot card case. This is one that's been up for sale for a little bit. We do have a couple more of these. I'm calling this Mottled Ultraviolet, and it's kind of like the marbled ultraviolet. There's just a little bit less contrast in it. This one has a really great looking stripe down the back. I think that's a really neat piece. And there's one more one-shot that we're sending out today. This is Brown Nut Dublin. I actually think I may have mislabeled this. I think this is actually an olive brown color. So it's a little bit brown on the surface, but the pull-up is a little bit more yellowy and green. And we have so many more great wallets in the batch today. This is an incredible Giant the Fox in black Gator Shell Cordovan. It looks like we have a contrasting orange stitch on the outside of this. That is really, really neat. Look at the inside. More of that contrasting orange with the green. I'm really digging the orange thread on this one. Take a look at how nicely that pairs with the reverse black interior on that Giant of the Fox. That's a remarkable piece. Here's another great looking Giant of the Fox. Looks like we've got some whiskey Shell Cordovan on the outside. Super smooth, bright and shiny. On the inside here, we've got a combo. So that's color 8 reverse and black reverse on the right. Man, that is really neat. I've never seen one exactly like that. Here's another piece with some black reverse on it. This looks like a Tone of the Ant in black Shell Cordovan with a reverse interior. This one has been personalized for TC. That's a great, man, so many great looking wallets today. Here's another one that we used to sell a lot of. We've been sort of de-emphasizing this, but I still like the color combination of the black Dublin with a teal interior. Check that out. That's a really neat color combo. We actually make a reverse of that too, so we can do a teal on the outside with black on the inside. Here's a great looking marbled cigar Shell Cordovan piece. I'll just give you a second with this one. Really nice orangey tan shades, some green, little bits of green and brown in there. That's a really neat color. On the inside here, we've got the same sort of combo as this one from a minute ago. We've color 8 Shell Cordovan on the left with black Shell Cordovan on the right. That's a great looking Giant of the Fox. And here's a Bugs Moran in whiskey Shell Cordovan. Nice golden tan shade of this one. I'll give you a look at the inside. More whiskey Shell Cordovan. I also really like a clean look of the matching insides and outsides. And here's another Bugs Moran. This one is in natural Chrome Excel, the most popular Chrome Excel color from Horween. Nice sand color there, very much neutral shade. Another Bugs Moran. This is what looks like denim blue. So you get a little bit more of those aqua tones on the outside there with a reverse interior. So many great wallets today. Here's a 100% natural Chrome Excel Giant of the Fox. It's been personalized for a special someone. And then what's special about this one is the natural Chrome Excel on the inside. This is a relatively new offering for us on the Giant of the Fox. Here's another wallet that I've seen a lot of people request. This is Color 8 Chrome Excel on the outside of a Johnny the Fox with a black horsehide Latigo interior. I really like the black and Color 8 together. I think that's a nice look. Here's another Johnny the Fox, black Shell Cordovan. Super sleek look of the black shell with a black horsehide interior. This has been a hit for us for years. It looks like the last wallet here is another whiskey Shell Cordovan piece, but this is the Tony the Ant. Take a look at the color shift on that whiskey shell. Super nice, between like a medium brown and sometimes it gets a little bit more golden and yellow. That's a beautiful piece. I'll give you a look at the inside with more whiskey Shell Cordovan, great Horween ink stamp in the center. Man, so many great wallets in the video today, and I'm super excited about the two shots. I'm gonna have to pick this guy right here as my stunner of the day because I've never seen a wallet or anything made out of the reverse side of a Western textured shell. And I think that the subtleness of that texture on this piece is super interesting. So that's my stunner of the day. Hope you enjoyed the two shots. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.